So today we're going to make a creme caramel. This is the most impressive, elegant dessert. It's delicious and it's so easy to make. So follow me step by step and we'll make it together. Today we're going to have our first lesson of creme caramel. It's a classic French dessert and it's very elegant. It's a dessert that has caramel on the bottom, cream on the top, and it gets inverted, and so the caramel sauce runs down over the custard. It's a beautiful dessert. We're going to start with 6 eggs. This is for the custard. Half and half. We have 2.5 cups of half and half. 1 vanilla bean, a half a cup of sugar, and for the caramel we have half a cup of sugar and just a little bit of water. So our first step is to make the caramel. First, we have our half cup of sugar. We pour our sugar into a heavy saucepan. Then we have a little bit of water. This is about 1 tablespoon of water, between 1 and 2 tablespoons of water, which we add to the sugar. Next, we turn the heat onto high. And you want to give it maybe just a tiny little stir to spread that sugar around. And now we're going to wait for the sugar and water to come to a boil. So when it starts to boil, you want to take your pastry brush dipped in water and run your brush around the edges of the pan. And the reason you do this is because if you have sugar crystals that are sitting on the edge above the water, they will fall into your water and cause the mixture to crystallize, and your sugar will turn into a big hard block. Okay, you want to be careful because once the sugar starts to caramelize, it goes very fast. And a safety precaution, be sure you never ever touch it. It's very hot. It'll take your skin right off. So be very careful. Here it's starting to turn into a caramel. A little bit of smoke's coming up. Okay, now we're going to pour the caramel, be very careful, into the souffle mold. You want to swirl it around. Now that we're done with our beautiful caramel, we can set that aside and work on the cream. We have our 2.5 cups of half and half, and we're going to use the same pan that we made the caramel in. This way we won't lose that nice caramel flavor. So we'll pour our cream. So before we turn this on to come to a boil, I'm going to cut the vanilla bean in 2. So we scrape the vanilla seeds out and add them to the pan. Now, in order to get a maximum amount of vanilla flavor, let's add the vanilla bean to the cream. Now I turn on the heat to high and wait till it comes to a boil. And now we're going to move to the custard. We're going to use the eggs and the sugar to make our custard. Now we need 6 eggs. We need 3 yolks and 3 whole eggs. So I'm going to break the eggs whole first. So I separate the white, add the yolk. Now we're going to add our ½ cup of sugar to the eggs. Now we're mixing the eggs and sugar with a wire whisk until it's well blended. And then we're going to pour our cream onto the eggs. While this has been boiling, we've been heating some water because we need to bake the creme caramel in a water bath. So it's best to start out with hot water, and that will reduce your oven time. Now we're going to pour the half and half with the vanilla bean into our egg and sugar mixture. Now we're just going to give it a little stir, and we're almost done. Now we're going to strain the mixture into the bowl with the caramel. Now our water has come to a boil. And you want to use a pan that's a little bit larger than your souffle dish. We're going to pour the water into the pan. Okay, and while the water is very hot, I put my souffle dish into the water bath. So now we're going to bake it in an oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees. Now when we put it in the oven, we want to, as soon as we close the door, reduce the heat to 325 degrees. We'll bake it for about, we'll check it at 40 minutes, and you want to bake it, it'll turn golden brown on the top, and you'll bake it just until it doesn't jiggle anymore. Check it at 40 minutes, and then again at 45 to 50 minutes. So when your creme caramel comes out of the oven, you take it out of the water bath and put it on a cooling rack. Let it cool off a little bit before you put it in the refrigerator, say about at least half an hour to 45 minutes. Then you want to chill it and make sure it's absolutely cold before you unmold it. This is a great dessert to make a day ahead of time. Fortunately, I just happen to have a creme caramel, a cold one, on hand. Let's take it out. This is so easy to unmold. We're going to use a small, sharp knife and run it around the edges of the mold. Next, we're going to put a bowl, a shallow bowl on the top, and invert the creme caramel. Okay, now we lift off the souffle mold, and look at that beautiful dessert. So now we're done with our creme caramel. You see how easy it was. It was so simple to make a delicious dessert with so few ingredients. Let's have a slice. I'm spooning some of that delicious caramel sauce on the side. And there we have it. Here are the ingredients for the creme caramel. For the caramel, you need half a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of water. For the creme, you need 6 eggs, broken up into 3 whole eggs, 3 yolks, 1/2 cup of sugar, 2 1/2 cups of half and half, and 1 vanilla bean.